It would seem that Beerus the Destroyer has ordered me to destroy Planet Vegeta, but don't worry, monkeys. I won't be taking your planet today.
Hey guys, DB Rai here, and today I am starting another new What If, and it's been a while since I've done a Frieza What If, and after all, I do like doing my Frieza voice, and he is more or less my favorite character in Dragon Ball, so why not we have a little bit of fun with Lord Frieza in What If Frieza Spared the Saiyans? And well, I think in order to really tell this story right and in order to actually make it work, we need to take elements from both the Bardock Father of Goku TV special, as well as Dragon Ball Minus. Now, mind you, in terms of Bardock's side of the story, in this terms, does play more on the Dragon Ball Minus side, so no future telling abilities or anything like that for Bardock in this story. However, we are going to have a certain something from the Bardock TV special do happen in this story. Oh well, I suppose you don't actually see this in the Dragon Ball Bardock TV special. I think you see it in a bit of filler when Frieza's talking to Vegeta on Planet Namek. Just before the battle with Frieza begins. Yeah, I don't think it is actually part of the Bardock TV special. So, yeah, okay. We'll go with that. So, our story begins. Now, Frieza has just gotten the order from Lord Beerus to wipe out Planet Vegeta, wipe out all Saiyans. After all, I could give these Saiyans, 1,000 years to shape up, and they'd still let me down. I'd rather use the time for a nap. Giving the job to Lord Frieza to do. Now, Lord Frieza, of course, beginning his own investigation into matters, looking into the whole Super Saiyan Legend, Super Saiyan God, all that. And, well, the legend did have Frieza sort of worried a little bit, but ultimately it was dismissed as a myth, just like it does in Dragon Ball Minus. They couldn't find any evidence that the Super Saiyan Legend is even true, and, well, Frieza is more or less in orbit, and is more or less just really dragging it out as much as he can, because there's a part of him that's thinking, what if this is a mistake? What if wiping out the Saiyans could turn out to be a mistake? What if having the Saiyans around is the only thing that keeps Beerus in check from more or less destroying him in the future? And these thoughts do begin to play in Emperor Frieza's mind. After all, the Saiyans have loyally served him for years, wiping out planets in his name and his father before him back when they enslaved the race. The relationship was always a profitable one. When King Cold initially enslaved the Frieza race, he brought the Saiyans up to speed. They gave them technology, healing chambers, the nursing capsules, all that stuff that made the Saiyan race thrive and satisfied their thirst for battle even more, and more or less, King Cold, and not to mention Frieza, saved a lot of money on manpower getting the Saiyans to do their bidding. The Saiyans were more or less able to hunt their own food and do supply runs of their own. It's not like they really needed the fancy trinkets that are more or less the Frieza Force, get paid for to survive in space credits. Saiyans didn't need to do that. They often, in some cases, ate the people they killed, or it's not like Planet Vegeta was, down on resources themselves. Especially when you had an awesome cook like Gine, making sure everyone got a good feed. And so, Frieza just basically stalled as long as he could, and ultimately decided,
No, I won't be destroying the Saiyans today, Beerus. I'm afraid these monkeys may still be of some use to me. Not to mention, there must be a reason you're so afraid of them.
and so Frieza basically just goes down to the planet along with Zarbon and Dodoria and even the Ginyu Force, and is basically pretended to reward the Saiyans of their hard work, giving them all some much needed R&R for all their hard work, giving them a new fresher supply of food and things like that. And Frieza was more or less being a good guy about it. Now, don't misunderstand here. This isn't because Frieza has suddenly started to respect the Saiyans. No, this is just another form of Frieza manipulation. He wants to keep them in their good graces, and by him actually rewarding them, some of the Saiyans, well, quite a few of them, are beginning to see Frieza in a new light. Well, as we know, throughout the story during King Cold's reign and after him handing down the ropes to Lord Frieza, there was always that resentment. Saiyans do not like being told what to do. They don't like their life being enslaved, and there was always that bit of resentment. You know, they did all that work for Frieza and King Cold, and the only thing they really had to show for it was, the technology that they gave them and everything like that. But being Frieza actually going out of his way to reward the Saiyans, this is a first thing ever. King Cold never did this, and with that, this actually boosted morale amongst the Saiyans, who would go out and work for him and conquer planets for him. You know, even Gine was more motivated, cooking more meals than ever, and this actually meant that Kakarot didn't have to be sent off world. None of that was happening. There was no suspicion there. Even the whole energy on the planet was just completely different. And so, this means we got a Kakarot who will be able to grow up among his own people. However, there were still a few Saiyans who were more or less untrusting of this whole thing, and Saiyans who wanted to overthrow Frieza, take over the galaxy, universe, and all that thing themselves, and that is, of course, coming from King Vegeta and his, more or less, his advisors. And, well, they're pretty much the only Saiyans that Frieza does have to get rid of. And, well, he more or less taking Vegeta under his wing like he does from the Bardock TV special, and as it explains in the filler, Vegeta does Vegeta III, King Vegeta III, does sway a group of his men to attack Frieza's ship and take the prince back. And well, this was just ill-advised, because just like it happens in the filler episode of Dragon Ball Z, Frieza takes out King Vegeta along with his men, while Prince Vegeta is safely tucked away on their ship, and Frieza is more or less trying to raise Vegeta to be more or less a bridge between the two kingdoms, I guess you could say. The Vegeta Empire and the Frieza Empire. He'd be a bridge between the Saiyan race and Lord Frieza. And, well, thanks to Frieza, who was ever since then, and Prince Vegeta coming of age as the years went by, becoming King Vegeta IV, and well, Frieza gave the new king permission to lift some of the restrictions that some of the Saiyans did have, both under the ruling of King Cold and Lord Frieza prior to that. And that was the fact that Saiyans weren't really allowed to train. They'd basically, go on missions and things like that, and they became stronger because of taking on the missions. And the harder they were, the better the Zenkai boost, and the stronger some Saiyans got, while others were basically killed off and cut off from their prime. Vegeta the Fourth was able to convince Frieza to lift those restrictions so Saiyans could train and actually become stronger because of it, and be of better service to Frieza and have a better survival rate. And Frieza was actually happy to oblige this. After all, this meant saving more money, and Saiyans being able to perform at a more elaborate, performing better than they ever have before. Well, this would mean more planets under their control and a bigger expansion for the Frieza Empire. And, well, it was becoming that prosperous that Frieza was able to make some cuts to his own forces. And when I say cuts, pretty much blowing up half his fleet. He didn't need them anymore. The Saiyans were performing like every Saiyan was like, I guess you could say, was performing at the level of 20 of Frieza's men. And when I say 20, more like 20,000. And well, this was all thanks to Frieza lifting the restrictions, allowing the Saiyan race the Saiyans to train. And because of that, there was no longer any more elite class Saiyans, middle class Saiyans, lower class Saiyans. Eventually, that whole level of thinking was wiped away. There was still more or less, elite members of the Frieza Force and middle class, lower class soldiers in that form, but as far as the Saiyans were concerned, all the Saiyans were equal. Even Gine felt the need to train sometimes. And well, because she didn't have to go on missions and things like that and could still continue her life as a cook, this would mean she could get stronger in a safer environment, having training sessions with her husband Bardock, who was still pretty much the best of the best of the best of Frieza's elite during their missions. And Kakarot, being Kakarot, he can't wait to follow in his father's footsteps. And well, he has since been, I did say Vegeta the Fourth had come of age, so Kakarot is more or less still a child in his teens here. And well, unlike Raditz, he's always happy to put himself into the fray and become stronger because of that. And, well, with the Saiyans being rewarded and Frieza actually giving the Saiyans more things and actually allowing them to stretch their legs freely and interact with other races within Frieza's empire, this actually does begin to more or less form the Saiyans into more of a civilized civilization as well. Like you had there were Saiyans that didn't really want to do the whole battle thing. Some of them were more better suited to being diplomats. Basically, Saiyans' jobs weren't just destroying planets or being a Saiyan cook that would feed the Saiyans. That because of all these restrictions being lifted, the Saiyans had more right to choose. Some of them were happy being transporters, transporting materials to other planets, transporting food back to Planet Vegeta, and vice versa. There were jobs like that going around now. And, like I said, there are even Saiyans being trained in the art of diplomacy that could trade with other members within Frieza's empire. Like every civilization does. And this led to things being more beneficial. And some of the planets that they overthrew, some of the governments that the Saiyans overthrew and brought under Frieza's control, were able to thrive even better now because, well, Saiyans and the Frieza Force were more likely to build these planets up together. And, well, Frieza is quite pleased with himself being a better ruler. And, well, as it turns out, he's a better ruler than his father. King Cold actually made the right choice, having Frieza succeed him. Even though King Cold's not really too happy about it, the point of picking Frieza to rule in his place was that Frieza would do things differently to his father. And to some level, Frieza has done that, actually rewarding the Saiyans, something King Cold would never have done, and he certainly doesn't really agree with that. But, nevertheless, he cannot argue with the results that his son has brought to the Empire. And that only means, a higher retirement pension for his old man. Right? And, well, with that, I think that's actually where we're going to leave things. At least for the moment. Just laying down the foundations for this What If. We will get more into what Kakarot and Raditz are doing in this timeline in the next part. And well, this is your Lord Frieza saying, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments, although they better be positive or I will blow your planet to pieces. I'm kidding. But seriously, like and subscribe. And well, I leave you with, I leave you guys until next time. Alright, see yous later.